Welcome to my channel. My name is Yaski and this is my first video ever. So I actually meant to start this channel about 6 months ago, but for one reason or another I kept putting it off. I think a big reason was that I didn't feel like I was good enough to start the channel. Like I didn't feel good about myself, so I kept making up excuses like no, maybe I don't really want to do this, or when I look like this I can do it. And in the back of my mind it was always there, like, oh, I wish I could just start, but because I don't feel so good about myself, I don't start, and that sucks, So if you're like me and you're somebody who is like, I'll do this when I look like this, or I'll do this when I look like that, then I want to help you, because I know how hard it is to go through that and how annoying it is to feel like you're not good enough for everything. And on top of that, I think another thing for me is that I had been doing really good in my fitness journey like over a year ago, and honestly just looking back at them made me feel like worst about myself. Like, how did I let myself go? How did I not keep up those habits? Like, why didn't I just keep doing it? Because if I had kept doing it, then I would feel so good about myself, right? But who knows, because even when I was there, I still didn't feel that good about myself. So yeah, there was things I did feel great about, and healthy habits helped a lot, but it was still hard to love myself in those moments as well, because it's not just about the way you look that determines if you love yourself. That is something you have to work on mentally. Decide that no matter what, you deserve to be happy now, and you don't need to wait until you look a certain way or you get this in order to be happy. I have to acknowledge that I went through a lot of things in this past year and a half that were traumatic, and a lot of changes and a lot of honestly healing and developing that has brought me, I think, to a better place where I feel now comfortable to just start this without looking the way I want to or feeling the way I want to about myself right now, because I owe it to myself to just do the things I want to when I want to, and things that will help me grow. And I think just waiting until I'm good enough or I feel good enough about myself is just not it. Like, it's not it to be thinking that way. It's not it to think of yourself as less. So I do want to start my fitness journey. Like, I definitely want to get on that, but I want to love myself through it. I don't want to hate myself through my fitness journey, because I feel like that's what I've done my whole life, just hate myself through everything I do. And this time around, I want to love myself through it and do it because I love my body and because I want to take care of myself, and health is important to me, and I want to do it because of that. Like, I want to look at it through a different lens, and I hope that I can be that for you. And if you're somebody who thinks it's too late to start, or too early in the sense that, like, oh man, like, I'm not ready there, I don't have this, I don't have that. Even with like cameras, this is my iPhone, and sometimes I think like, oh man, if I had like the best camera, I could start, that too. And I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, this iPhone is perfectly fine, it records perfectly fine, I can hear myself perfectly fine, and she'll do while I get what I want to get. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to do what I need to do for myself in this moment and work with what I have, because that is also enough. Something I want to say though is, aside from aesthetics, the most important reason to get your health in order is because of that, for health reasons. My biggest reason to get healthy is because I want to show my body that I care about it, that I love it. Not just that, but for my future self. I want to be able to be older and be able to stand in my own body, do things by myself, because bone density decreases as we age, of course. So I think that it's very important for us to take care of our body, and building muscle helps that too. Like, it helps to make sure that you are able to do the things that you can do now later in life on your own, and not worry about breaking a hip, breaking a bone, because as you get older, that can also become very detrimental. It just becomes more dangerous as you're older. And I think it's very important, at least for me, and I wish for everybody it would be that you build that muscle now so that you could be healthy and enjoy your life. Health is wealth. I want to do that, build my health. I know I could do it. I've done it before, and although I fell off track, I know it's in me, and I know I can do it, and I want to help others do it. And I think doing this side by side will be really like fun and encouraging, and it'll help motivate me to keep going. Something I would love to do is to show a progression of my journey. So maybe I could do that every month. I could post a monthly video on how it's going for me and the things I've learned, and hopefully I can help y'all too. So if you guys would like that, please let me know. I think that would be a really great idea. Of course, I'd like to post other things like, you know, days in my life and maybe my workout routine and even fashion stuff, because I do love that and I really love cute stuff. So, you know, I would love to post about that as well. Okay, so now for the tips that I think are beginner friendly and have helped me, and I have been able to be consistent with them because I think it needs to be sustainable. And I feel like a lot of these tips are sustainable and also like beginner friendly. But if any of these tips don't, you know, resonate with you and you're like, well, that doesn't really fit with my daily life, then that's okay. I'm just here to give advice on what I have learned and what has helped me. So let's get started with those tips. So the first tip I have is to make your bed. And I know that sounds very simple, or maybe to some people it isn't, because there had been times where it was not easy for me to make my bed, but now I aim to do my bed every single day and do that first thing in the morning, because it builds a sense of accomplishment. Like you did something and it was pretty easy, and now you feel ready to start your day. It makes my room feel more put together, and that kind of helps me feel more motivated to get going on with my day. I do have a lot of pillows, so I'll stack them all on my desk, and then if I don't get to my bed, I feel like my room feels so crowded, and for some reason that really does affect me. So, you know, once I realize it does, I just like to make my bed, and just seeing my bed done and all cute really helps me feel motivated to start the day. My room just feels organized, and you know, I have access to everything I need. So I think that that's a very easy way to just accomplish something right off the bat, and to just make your room feel more organized and possibly make you more motivated to do the things that you want to do that day. Another tip to also, like, after you make your bed, if you're able to, is to let in sunlight and some fresh air. That really helps on nice days, just, you know, feeling the fresh air and seeing the sunlight coming in. I know it makes me feel better, and it just makes my room feel better, and it helps me be in a better mood. So I think that that is also something that you can do if you're able to, of course, because we are cooped up a lot of the time. It's just nice to let in some fresh air and some sunlight if you're not able to go out. My next tip would be to drink bone broth or lemon water before your breakfast in the morning. And if that's something that you don't have time for or doesn't sound interesting to you, that's perfectly fine as well. I personally choose bone broth most of the time because of its nutrients, and I feel like if you add a little bit of salt to it, it tastes really good. It just tastes like un caldo, so I don't mind it. And I know there's also claims of it being high in collagen, and that's another reason I started. And I have been doing bone broth for a long time now, and it's just like second nature to me to just walk my dog, get back, heat up my bone broth right away, and drink it before anything else. And high in protein, which is also important because I do track my protein and I aim to have a high protein diet. So honestly, it's low calorie and high in protein, so that's another good reason to have bone broth in the morning. But if you're not a bone broth type of girly, I understand, because you have to like learn to like it. And the way I learned to like it is by adding salt. I used to just drink it without salt, and I'm not gonna lie to you, there was times where I was like, why am I doing this? But then I added salt. I seen somebody add salt to theirs, and I was like, why didn't I think of that? And I added just a little bit of salt, mix it up, and now I love it. But yeah, if bone broth isn't your thing, I totally get it. You can also do lemon water. Apparently there's a lot of benefits to drinking lemon water first thing in the morning, as lemon has a lot of nutrients. It has vitamin C. I believe it helps you from getting sick and staying sick. So if I do have time, I will have lemon water and then bone broth. But most of the time I will choose bone broth, especially if I'm short on time. But I don't mind drinking both of them, and if you can incorporate both of them, I think it would be very beneficial to your journey. That would be a tip of mine that I think is quite easy. You can prep your lemons beforehand. You can just squeeze a lemon in there if you don't have time into hot water and drink that up, and you should be good. And speaking of nutrition and everything, a big tip that I have that I know not everybody agrees with is to track your calories and your protein, or any macro that is important to you. Personally, I only track my calories and my protein because I'm trying to be in a deficit while having a high protein diet. So it's very important for me to make sure that I'm staying within those windows that I have set for myself. If you feel like it's going to trigger something in your past, then I would not recommend doing it. If you can, at the minimum, I would recommend tracking your protein, because protein is very beneficial to building muscle. And if that's one of your goals, then at least tracking your protein should help. And if you're like, I don't want to track my protein, I don't want to track anything, that's perfectly fine too. You know, at the end of the day, everyone needs to do what's going to work for them. I personally do like tracking my protein and my calories because I feel that has helped me the most, and that's what brought me the most results. But for any reason whatsoever you can't do either of those, at least try maybe looking up like meal sizes and how much protein is in them, so you can have an idea of what you can have, or looking, you know, just looking up high protein foods and trying to incorporate more of those into your diet. I think it's also very important to eat as many whole foods as you can. Try to eat at home as much as possible, because that way you know what you're cooking and you're able to curate your meals the way that you see fit and the way that you think will help you the most. My other tip would be to prep the way that works best for you. A lot of people are able to meal prep a lot of meals for the week, and that's what works for them. But if that's not what works for you, don't feel like anything is wrong with you, because I'm one of those people that cannot meal prep multiple meals for the week and just eat that, because I don't really like repeating my meals. So the way that I prep is that I will cook a lot of chicken, so I can just have chicken made already and then use that in different recipes throughout the week. And I'll also make sure to have broccolini, so I can assure that I have a vegetable ready to eat. But if for you it works to make meals, then I would say go ahead and do that. But if it works better to just prep a meat, to just prep a protein and a vegetable, to have that to incorporate into other meals, then go for it. There's no right way to do it. The only right way to do it is to do it the way that works best for you. The best thing for me is to just prep the chicken and the broccolini, because that way I am sure that I have something there for the days that I'm feeling kind of lazy. I'll just heat that up. Even if it's frozen meals and that's what works for you, do what works for you. At the end of the day, whatever's going to keep you consistent is the best thing. So if you like the idea of cooking meals for the whole week, or if you like the idea of having like healthy frozen meals, or if you like the idea of, okay, I'm going to cook a couple veggies and this meat and then incorporate it into other meals for the week, then go ahead and do that. I feel that being prepared with something at least can help and go a long way throughout the week and in your journey. Another tip that I have that I'm sure you hear a lot is to journal. And I don't mean to write a whole essay or anything, because I know that can be very overwhelming. I personally haven't been as consistent as I can be, but I do journal, and I do think there are many benefits to journaling. So I would say to just journal even like 5 minutes. Another thing that I also do is that I have my own journal where I do write longer things. Just a regular notebook, lined paper, and when something is really weighing down on me, I like to write it down, because I have noticed that it helps so much. Like, it almost just takes it out of my brain, because I think when you don't release it, it's just there over and over again. And I feel that writing it down, for me at least, just helps me release it. And you can even go back to things you wrote about that were weighing so much on you and be like, wow, I can't even believe I was feeling that way then, because I totally feel different about it now. I feel that it's just so healthy to release and just, you know, realize that there's no pressure when it comes to journaling. It's just for you, and the way that you want to go about it is the best way, because it is just for you. But I do think it is beneficial to just journal in whatever way you want to. Putting your thoughts on paper can be very beneficial in releasing things, and also realizing the things that you're grateful for, and just tracking your progress. Yeah, it's hard sometimes to track your progress, but looking back on it can be so nice and beautiful, just to be like, wow, I was feeling this way and this really helped me release. So that's another tip that I would say, is to journal in whatever way you see fit. My next tip would be to start slowly at the gym. I would say first and foremost, you know, determine what you want to obtain by going to the gym and the muscles that you want to grow and work. So you can research, you know, like glute exercises, you can research back exercises, quad exercises, you know, everything like that, and just see the different variations. I think it's very important to just start with a couple exercises and a couple sets. There's so many good videos out there on people who are much better at explaining than me right now in the moment. I would love to at one point, you know, show my routine, all the information I have learned, because it is very good information. So hopefully one of these days I can also make a video with my workout routine and what has worked and hasn't worked, and what it grows and doesn't. And you know, I have very specific goals where I mostly focus on my lower body. I do want to tone my upper body and also lose weight as I'm doing that. So if that's something that is also your goal, I feel that I could one day create a video that could help you, because I have put a lot of time and research into making sure that I know my form is right, to know how many reps to do, how many sets. And I really would love to provide that for you guys. I just need to get organized with that, and also know that it's something that, you know, you guys would want. So please let me know. But other than that, there's so many great videos out there. I would say to first write down your goals and what you're looking to obtain in the gym, and then research that so you can find the best exercises for that. And start slowly, you know, maybe like 2 sets and then add another set, or 1 set, you know, if it's really your first time in the gym. Like, as a beginner, you will see the most gains. So even doing less exercises will get you a lot of gains, and then you can research and get more knowledge and then build up your routine that way. I think it's very important also, which is something that I'm barely recently starting to do, is to have different variations to one exercise. Many different ways to do one exercise, so that if a machine that you're looking to use is being used, you have another way to do it, maybe with dumbbells or maybe on cables. But I think it's very important to have a couple of variations to one exercise, so that you don't feel like, oh, I can't get my full routine done because the machine is being used. Especially if you go at peak hours. I know how horrifying that is. And also because there's so many ways to grow your muscle. So even if you feel shy going to the gym or have anxiety, I totally understand. You can do workouts at home, or you can go to those rooms that are kind of hidden in the gym and do a whole routine there. It is totally possible. And if that's going to motivate you and actually get you to do it, I would recommend doing that. Personally, for me, I wish I could exercise at home, but I do not feel motivated whatsoever here. So that's the truth that I have to realize, and just get myself to the gym and do my workout there. So I would say to just start slow and research as you go, so that you can build the perfect routine for you. And that will also change as you progress in the gym. That is totally normal. You know, have fun doing it, because it doesn't have to be a chore. I think if you find the right exercises, I think you will have a great time with your journey. I really love to lift. Me and lifting are like this. That's my favorite form of exercise. Me and cardio have a little bit of beef, but I'm trying to figure out the exercises that make me feel more motivated to do cardio. I would say to just start with what you do enjoy and then build onto that. So my tip for cardio would be to build up your cardio, and I would say to pick something that you can do for a while. So for example, if you think, if I get on this bike, I can only do 10 minutes, that is also perfectly fine. But if you're like, oh, if I walk on the treadmill, I can do 20 minutes, then I would say go with what you can do longer and then build that up. And honestly, walking is so underrated. Well, I think nowadays people know the benefits of walking, how much that can have an impact on your health. So honestly, walking on the treadmill on an incline, like even a small incline, can be a great form of cardio. And then when you feel ready to add in a new machine, or you feel like, oh, I can tackle this, then you can do that. But also with cardio, remember to start small, because you don't have to destroy your body in order to see results. So I used to run, and I had built up like my momentum of running like about a year ago, and I had stopped running. And then I decided, you know, I was going to restart my cardio, and I decided to run on the treadmill for like 2 minutes to do like a hit session. And oh my god, I could not breathe for like 5 minutes. I felt so horrible. And honestly, that was such a learning experience to realize that I should not just be going 0 to 100. It is okay to build up to it. That's what I had to do first. So why did I think I could just go right back to it when I could not? So now I just try to do walking and a little bit of running if I can. But I've learned that the bike cycling is really good for body recomposition, which is what I'm looking to do. So now I will just do like 30 minutes hit sessions on the bike, go as fast as I can when I can and for as long as I can, and then just take like a couple minutes, slow down, and then do that again. I found that that's really helpful, and I get a really great workout from that. So yeah, definitely go slow with cardio too. You need to build up small, start slow, and you will get the results you want. And it is most likely that you will stick to them and be consistent if you do it that way. Another thing that is very beneficial in your health journey is the sauna. So if you have access to a sauna, you can go in there and also, in a sense, get a form of a workout, because the sauna kind of mimics you working out if you stay in there up to 20 minutes. There is many research showing how beneficial it is to go in the sauna. And whenever I can, I love going into a sauna for 20 minutes, and I just feel so refreshed after, and it makes me feel just so good. And apparently it does mimic a form of like working out. So that's also very beneficial if you feel like, hey, today I can't do cardio, or I'm just feeling really low. But if you can at least go and sit in the sauna for 20 minutes, you will see great benefits from it. And it is something that I need to do more of, and just make sure to incorporate more. That's a great thing to do if you feel like that's all you can do for the day. It's very beneficial. Obviously, it's best to pair with working out and lifting. But if you feel like today I can just go sit in the sauna, then go for it. I love to do it, and I need to do it more often, and that's what I'm going to try to incorporate as well. But I feel like that's a little trick that you can do for yourself when you don't really feel like working out. Just go in there. But I would say to just incorporate it to your whole journey if you do have access to a sauna. If you don't, then that is perfectly okay too. There's so many ways to be healthy and so many things that you can do for yourself. But that is just a tip I have learned and I really enjoy, and I feel great after the sauna, and I think you will too. Another tip that I have that is more mental health focused and how you feel about yourself is to heal what needs to be healed. And only you know what that is, but it's very important to heal the things that you feel keep holding you back, and to heal the things that still affect you. You know, as we grow and evolve, we go through a lot of things, and a lot of those things can be traumatic. So it's very important to heal what you feel that needs to be healed, because that can be a huge block in your road. And as someone who has started their healing journey, I think it has helped me a lot, and I wish that everybody could heal what they need to heal, because it is just so nice to release those things. So whatever can help you do that, if it's journaling, if it's getting therapy, if it's watching video, I would really suggest to do that, because it has helped me a lot, and I'm still in my healing journey. Just the things that I have learned and have healed so far have helped me so much and have brought me to where I am today, and I'm very grateful for that. And in addition to that, I would say that it's very important to love yourself and learn ways to show yourself more love, because it's not okay to wait until you look a certain way or you get something in order to love yourself and be happy. That's not what this is about. It's important to love yourself now and to be happy now, so that can also help you get to your dreams without, you know, it being such a hard journey, and you can learn to enjoy the journey, because that's also what it's about. So it's very important to love yourself and do the things that you want to do them now. Obviously not everything, and you'll feel more comfortable doing things as you go, but don't wait to give yourself certain things until you reach something, because you are enough now, and you can give them to yourself now, because you are worthy of them now, and you have always been worthy of them, and it's important to realize that. My last tip, which I think is very important, is to focus on what you can change and not on what you can't. An amazing quote I heard once that I really love is that living in the past will keep you depressed. Living in the future will keep you anxious. So the best thing you can do for yourself is to live in the present moment. Although it is hard to apply it to my daily life, because I'm a very anxious person, and I'm also someone who tends to look back and feel bad about how things went and beat myself up over it. I know that the best thing to do is focus on the now. And more than just that, is to focus on what you can change. And it took me way too long, way too long, to realize that the most important thing is to focus on what you can change. Because when you worry about things that you can change, I don't know, it's like a dead-end street. You can't change them, so worrying about them is just gonna keep you in a cycle of sadness and depression. And I feel like, you know, there's really no point to it, and I'm the first to do it, so I'm not here to judge in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. But I know how hard it can be to break that cycle, but I think the best way to break that cycle is to focus on what you can change. I feel that it's very unfair to myself to keep beating myself up for things that I had no control over, or things that didn't go the way I wish they would have gone, because it's just not it. It brings me no benefit. It just makes me feel worse about myself. It leads to nowhere, because you can't change it. So there's no purpose in ruminating in that, because there's nothing you can do about it. But if you shift your energy into what you can focus on, it will make things so much easier, because it's things that you have control over. It's things that if you think about, you have solutions for. So it's very helpful, because you have something to work on that you can change. But if you're focusing on what you can change, you're just gonna be depressed, because it's things that no matter what, there's no change to them, and you have no control over it. And I know that sounds scary and difficult, but it's so much better to let go of that and those thoughts, because they will just keep you in a dark place. And I feel that's something that helps me. When I think of something that I can change, I immediately think of something that I can change. It doesn't have to be completely related to what you're thinking about, but it has to be something that you can change, because then you will put your energy to that. Because no matter how much you ruminate, how much you try, if it's something that you can change, there's nothing to do about it. So what is the purpose of thinking about it? You're just gonna hurt yourself by doing that. Very important to focus on what you can change, and then change those things for the better if it's going to help make you a better person, and if it's going to help you lead a healthier life. Because when you focus on the things you can't control, it is just another recipe for disaster, and it's not worth your time at all. So I would say one of my biggest tips is to focus on what you can change, because you have full control over that, and you can show yourself how much you care about yourself, and you can worry about those things because you have the ability to change them. That's one of my biggest advices, and it's something that I need to do way more as well. So yeah, those are all my beginner friendly tips that I think would help you to get started on your journey today. They're things that I have incorporated into my life and I have seen a lot of benefit from doing them, and I think they're easy enough for you to get started on them. And of course, if there's something that doesn't resonate with you or something that you think doesn't apply to you or you can't make time for, then that is perfectly fine. These are just things that I feel could help you and that I have noticed have helped me. I hope you will join me in this journey and we can do this side by side, and I hope that I can provide many more helpful tips for you and show you my own results, my progress. I hope that you will give me this opportunity, and thank you so much for watching. Take care, guys.